So out here on Lake Trafford with Garrett Paquette. Beautiful Florida morning in February. Much better than Michigan.
Much better than Michigan. About 60 degrees warmer than Michigan right now.
Fair enough, man. So we're out here looking for bass. I've heard some pretty good things about Lake Trafford, so hopefully we have a pretty good day today. So what kind of made you fall in love with fishing?
No, it's just something I was exposed to as a kid. My dad grew up fishing, and as a young kid, I was kind of along for the ride. So he would do a lot of tournaments, and he'd fish for a lot of salmon and trout on the Great Lakes, and I grew up in that environment. I kind of went the other route. I started catching bass, and I fell in love with that species, but really just growing up and being introduced to the sport at a young age is why I fell in love with it.
So like I said, you're a pro bass fisherman based in Michigan. How did you get into tournament fishing?
So when I turned 16, the day I had my driver's license, I was go. We had a family bass boat. I'd take it to every little local tournament I could around the house. And once I started doing good in those, I kind of treated it like a video game. I started doing good around the house. So I branched out. I would drive a couple hours to tournaments instead and learn that area of the state. Then I started going to other states. And eventually I kind of just progressed up the ranks into national level tournaments.
And what was that first tournament like?
The first tournament was pretty memorable. It was on a little lake by my house, Belleville Lake. And I really didn't know what I was getting into. But I went out there by myself and ended up winning the tournament. So I got spoiled right away, and I was just thinking, oh, this is gonna be easy. I'll just come to all those tournaments, make myself some good money and leave. And that's not the case with tournament fishing for most people. But that first day was pretty sweet. I went out there and I caught one of the biggest bags of fish that lake has ever seen. So it was a good start to my career.
So my next question was, what's one piece of advice that you could give yourself for the first tournament? But you won the tournament, so you didn't need much advice. But let's say, getting into it, what is one piece of advice?
Yeah, one piece of advice is just, stay calm and stay confident. In fishing, things are always changing. And a lot of times you're gonna go to spots where you think you're gonna catch fish and you're not gonna catch them. And it's no reason to get spun out or get upset about it, but just keep working hard, stay calm, keep thinking about where that next bite can come from, and you usually end up figuring it out throughout the course of a day.
What's been one of your favorite tournaments that stuck out to you?
I had a tournament in Lake Fork in Texas on the Elite Series, and I took second in that tournament with over 100 pounds, and I got what they call a century belt, which is a pretty big deal in the sport of fish or bass fishing. I think only 30-something people have one, so that tournament to me was pretty memorable. I would say.
How do you kind of get out here and prepare for a tournament?
So for me, it starts at home. I'll do research on the lake. I'll spend a lot of time looking at maps, looking at topographic maps, looking for spots like that, looking at old tournaments, maybe see what kind of weights I'm gonna need to do well, what size fish I'm dealing with, what baits might work, areas of the lake that could work. And then I'll get to the lake and I'll put my nose down and I'll work hard. I mean, essentially you gotta go out there and you can do a lot of homework, but you gotta get out there and find the fish. So it'll be really long days when I come to a tournament. I'll get up at like 5, get on the water as early as I can, and I'll stay out there until the sun sets. So that's what a tournament preparation looks like for me.
So as a pro fisherman, you're on the road quite a bit. When you're out there, what do you like to eat?
I am very basic and boring in what I like to eat. I have the same thing almost every single day. I start with a little protein cup pancake mix it is for my breakfast. And then I'll have these organic protein bars with some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches throughout the day, every couple of hours. And then at night we'll mix it up. We might go out to a restaurant, we might cook, but during the morning and during the day, it's always the same thing at the same time every single day. I keep it consistent.
Yes.
When you're on the boat for a long period of time, it's good to keep it consistent.
So, obviously bass, all fresh water. Have you had much experience in saltwater fishing? How might you think it's different than saltwater fishing?
I've saltwater fished only 2 days, unfortunately. One day I was inshore, I was around mangroves in Naples, actually, where we are now. And then I went offshore one day and was jigging like amberjacks and stuff like that. But the one difference for me is obviously the saltwater fish are much more powerful. I mean, they're designed to swim, and it just seems like their strike range or the amount of water they're willing to travel to bite it is a lot further than a bass. So it's not to say that they're easier to catch, but I do think when you get in the vicinity of the fish you're targeting, they're a lot more aggressive.
So, being out on the water so much, obviously you're in the elements. What are some of your favorite things to wear in the water?
Yeah, I mean, how I'm dressed right now is kind of what I like to have. I like a hooded long sleeve shirt. I'll put the hood up, protect me from the sun. I like wearing these sun gloves from AFCO, keep the sun off my hands, long pants if it's not too hot, flip-flops, I like wearing flip-flops, and then always a hat. But my biggest thing is I want to be out here, I want to be protected from the sun for obvious reasons, cancer, things like that. Or if it's nasty, it's the other way around. I want to have good solid rain gear. I want to keep myself dry. You always want to be comfortable because there's nothing worse than coming on the boat and being uncomfortable in the elements. You're just not going to last very long.
All right, so like a good fisherman, brag a bit. What's the most impressive fish you've ever caught?
Well, I guess it was actually going to be during that saltwater trip. I caught a shark. It was about 250 pounds. So that's my biggest fish ever. My biggest bass ever is 9 pounds. Those two are probably the top of my list of catches.
What piece of gear on the boat or fishing in general can you not live without?
Whew, there's a lot of things out here that I can't live without, but these oh man, I kind of messed that up.
That's hard, it's all right.
You can cut that. Okay.
Yeah, we can cut that.
Okay. You want to ask a
Start
question?
again, yeah.
Okay.
You mean ask this question again, Seth?
Yeah.
Okay.
What can't you live with?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Sorry. Sorry.
Yep.
So, be it on the boat, on the road, what's a piece of equipment or piece of gear that you just can't live without?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on this boat I don't want to ever live without, but these hummingbird electronics, something I rely on a lot is my eyes under the water. I think it'd be really tough for me to take those off the boat and continue to catch fish, so I'm gonna keep my graphs.
So after a long day of fishing on the water, you guys are out here, 6, 7, 8 hours a day. How do you like to unwind?
Really, we just get home, grab a bite to eat, cook something, and just relax. I mean, I'm so exhausted as it is out there. I don't want to go. I'm not going to go out and be out late at night or anything like that. It's really just about, kind of some quiet time to myself, maybe thinking a little bit about what I want to do the next day and getting to bed. It's not, I'm not doing, at least me personally, I'm not doing anything crazy during the tournament. So it's get to bed and do it again.
So, we're here in February, it's early in the year and early in the fishing season. What are some of your goals this year?
Goals this year. One, so fishing for me, it's really hard to control the outcome. I can't go out there and say, hey, I want to dominate this opponent because it's just hard to do that. My number one goal is always the same every year. It's control my effort. I want to go out there and know that I worked my hardest or know that I worked hard enough to do well. But as far as tournaments and stuff go, I'm fishing the Bass Opens right now, which is like the AAA level of fishing. I'd love to qualify for the Elite Series. I'd love to make the Bassmaster Classic, which is a win a tournament. So those are two accomplishment goals, but to me, it's really just if I go out there and work hard, good things will happen.
So if you were not fishing, what do you think you'd be doing?
That's a good question. I'd probably be an engineer of some kind. I've always liked math growing up. I felt comfortable with that in school, so I'd, whether it's electrical engineer, mechanical, I'm not sure, but some kind of engineer.
And, you go to a lot of lakes, you get to see a lot of beautiful places. What's like probably the most beautiful lake or beautiful spot you think you've fished?
Thousand Islands area in New York is really awesome. That's where Lake Ontario dumps into the St. Lawrence River. That's really clear water, clean water, cool rocks, old school castles are built into the rocks. That's one. And then I like South Carolina and Georgia as well. I think of like Lake Lanier, Lake Hartwell, those red clay banks. I like and enjoy coming to those places.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for coming down here. We're really happy to be out here with you and have a great year, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. What's up, guys? Thank you for watching this video. Here at PartsVu, we are very passionate about the boating lifestyle. If you want to see more content like this, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out PartsVu.com for all your boating needs. We'll catch you next time.